Welcome to my channel. As a layperson, I like to share my understanding of Scripture. Today I'm looking at the book of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. It says, "There no longer remains a sacrifice for sin." Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26 is often partially quoted, that there is no longer a sacrifice for sin. This then is used to uphold the theological stance that all sacrifices have ended, and that there will be no need for animals to be sacrificed in the future, since the one sacrifice that did away with all the sacrifices is that of the Messiah's death and resurrection. The full verse, however, reads, "For if we go on sinning willfully after receiving the knowledge of truth, then there no longer remains a sacrifice for sin." Sinning willfully is transgressing the Torah deliberately, even after we have told that the Torah is the truth. The Torah isn't Scripture. In verse 28 is the warning. Anyone who sets aside the law of Moses dies without mercy. This is just quoting from the Old Testament, and the writer recognizes it that belongs in the New Testament also, that God does not change. The sacrifice of Yeshua in no way sets aside the law of Moses. His death was to redeem us from the curse of the law, which was death. As the scripture said, "Obey my law and you will be blessed. Don't obey my law and you'll be cursed and you will die." This was all foreshadowed in the Old Testament. In the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 6, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh tells Moses, "Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock at Horeb, and you will strike the rock, and water will come out, that the people may drink." This points to Yeshua being our rock, whose death would give us living water. In the book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 8, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh tells Moses to speak to the rock, and then it would yield water. Since Yeshua, the rock, can only be struck once, he can only die once, we are forever after required to ask for living water. After Moses was told to speak to the rock, we read in verse 11 that Moses struck the rock twice. In verse 12, it was disobedience that kept Moses and Aaron from leading Israel into the promised land. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh says to Moses, "You have not believed me. You have not treated me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel." The only way we can believe in Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh and treat him holy is through obedience to his instructions. And his instructions do not change, since he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. This, of course, is not the theology taught in churches today. They're saying that the Mosaic law is for the Israelites in the wilderness, that God has done a new thing. But that is teaching that God has changed, and he definitely has not changed. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you heard, share it with someone. If you don't like what you heard, share it with everyone.